structure and a mindset that exists.
Yes,
Why
sir.
does that mindset exist? Because in America, black, brown life is not valued the same as white life.
You're right.
We can evidence that by, with all these shootings, the last time that an officer was found that he actually committed some wrongdoing in the case of the shooting was the case of the guy, Willie McMullen. Black brother who was shot, the police shot down at the ground, and you know, the bullet kind of hit the ground, skimmed up, and hit the brother. He was under a car. So that cop was dealt with, and it didn't even happen swiftly. Happened in 2002, the case ended in 2007. Guess what? Black cop. So black cops can get disciplined.
Of course they
right? Now they paid that family a settlement. How much did they give that family? How much do you think is worth a dollar amount for your loved one in your family?
Listen.
They gave that family $75,000.
Listen.
I know some dope dealers driving around in cars worth more than that, right? $75,000. The white girl's family got several $1 million.
Listen.
And the whole case went from investigation, went to court, adjudication, and payment, all in 1.5 years.
Look at.
We have to look at these things, and we have to step our game up in terms of when we advocate, and we got to get beyond, just a rally, a gathering like this, or a slogan. We got to put pen to paper and try to influence and push policies. And where policies don't exist, we have to craft them. So in this case, my call is the call for the reappointing of the co-op Civilian Review Board, establishing a true Civilian Review Board in Boston, and pressuring the state to develop a commission that looks at this problem, which will hopefully relieve cities and towns who have shown that they are unable to police or investigate themselves. So that's it for me. I want to leave with also, too, I have these flyers about the police misconduct documentation project, because a lot of people have already determined that internal affairs is a joke. It's 37 steps from the rooter to the tutor, and most often it gets convoluted. You might tap out at step 22. You almost there. I couldn't take it anymore. Some people tap out at step 1. But we want people to tell their stories, even if they don't want to file the paperwork. Just tell your story. We could record it on audio or video. You don't want to be seen, we could put something in front of your face. You don't want your voice to be heard, we could gargle your voice. And then on the back of that, you have the Police Complaint Assistant Project, which is a program by the ACLU, which works in conjunction with students from Suffolk Law University around the corner, and these students will walk you and help you through the process of filing this paperwork through all the 37 crazy steps that they take you through. So that's it. I have these flyers. Thank you. Once again, sorry for your loss to the McMullen family. I sat with these people for a couple of hours last night. Great people, salt of the earth, and I'm so disgusted that these people have to go through this situation, and I pray that it doesn't happen to anybody else, but unfortunately, based on the evidence, we know that it will. Peace.
All right, another hand for Jamal Crawford.
No
justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Two quick things he reminded me of, because we're getting to wind it down. We have a couple more speakers. When he talked about infants, I thought of two things. Anybody ever heard of Ossie Davis? Remember Ossie Davis? Well, Ossie Davis told this story before he died. He said that when he turned 10 years old, the police in his little town down south picked him up in their car. They drove him around for a while. Then they opened up a jar of maple syrup and they poured it over his head. And then they gave him a nickel and they left him at the other side of town. The story to him meant, for them, it was a rite of passage that he was no longer a child anymore, and that he was now considered prey for that police department. And that ritual was part of it. The second story that came to mind was that when we were doing work in Montclair, we found out from some of the young people there that the Montclair Police Department had put a bounty on who would be the first one to arrest a juvenile after he became an adult. And they pooled their money, and it was something like $200 or $300 if you could be the first person to arrest a juvenile from the town once he became an adult. That's what we were dealing with. So when we were talking about a couple of bad apples, or maybe they need a little sensitivity, no, they need desensitivity because they're too sensitive to people of color. So, moving right along. And also what I also like about what Jamal's saying is that because we're winding down, we're looking at action items. This isn't Sunday church. We don't want you to go home and feel good. We want the family to feel good, but we want you all to pledge some support by taking some action. So go to whoshotmark.org. Sign up. Go to change.org. Sign the petition. Learn your rights. If you see something, say something. That's where that came out. It really should be for us. If we see them doing something, say or do something. Take one of those cards and complain. If you see police activity, how many of y'all have cell phones with cameras? Take a picture. Bishop and I have done Cop Watch together. If you see something, just take your camera out. You have a right to do it. Join an organization. Form a coalition. Stand up for your rights. Teach others your rights. As long as we keep taking this, it's going to keep happening. Our next representative is from an organization who I don't know well in Boston, but I know very well in other cities. The International Action Center has spoken up about some of the bigger issues. We wouldn't have this problem in the community if it wasn't for the fact that our government was spending $1 billion a day on a war. $1 billion a day. That money could go towards, somebody added it up, that it would provide every person in this country with $50,000 extra a year if this government wasn't spending all this money on war. Do you think these youth would be out here banging if they could get a job that paid them half of $50,000 a year? No, they wouldn't. So we have to look at the bigger issues too. And that's what the International Action Center does. That's the big part of what they contribute, and I'm always proud to work with them, and I'm happy to have one of their representatives up here now. Frank Nicer, come on up. Yeah, big round of applause for the big picture.
Thank you very much. I'm out here in total solidarity with the family. I'm very moved by their strength, and we stand with them 100%. We stand against all this police violence, and I want to raise the People's Power Assembly and bring you greetings from People's Power Assembly in Baltimore, Maryland, led by C.D. Witherspoon of the Southern Christian Leadership